Hello, my absolutely beautiful Scorpio friends, and welcome to your horoscope for October of 2023, where I get to say happy birthday to you, Scorpios. Your season is coming mid-month. We will get into Scorpio season, so I hope that you will take some time to rest, to review, to rejuvenate yourself, to get yourself prepared for the direction you would like to set your life on for your next annual year. It's a really, really lovely time. So happy birthday, Scorpios. There's plenty going on this month to include the eclipses. We've got the new moon solar eclipse that's going to happen in Libra energy, lighting up again some 12th house energy, so things behind the scenes. And then we're going to have our final full moon lunar eclipse in the energy of Taurus, so right across the street in that 7th house for you. And I will tell you, there's a lot that's coming to my mind looking at this horoscope saying, okay, really, truly, if there are relationship tensions or relationship dynamics, whether they're personal or business, open enemies, legal things that you're no longer willing to be connected to, you may be finding yourself separating from them. And it really is an opportunity for all of the better for you. So lots going on this month, Scorpio. Now, Scorpio, before we jump in, if you are going to be watching this in September before we're even in October, I would love to see you at my webinar happening September 23rd. We're going to be talking about this axes of Libra and Aries, since the nodes are traveling here, and how we sometimes have these codependent or hyper independent energies that are being brought up as these energies transit our chart. And we're really looking for the sweet spot of interdependence in the middle. Now, if you're watching this after September, that class will be available. Check out all of the details in the description box down below. As well, Scorpios, it's a big year of change. You've gone through a lot over the last 18 months with these eclipses pouring and pulling through you, with the nodes moving through your energy. Really, you're left in, I think, a very sweet position where you can look at being more change-oriented and enterprising in your own life, but there's such a liberation around it. And if you could use some help and some guidance moving towards where your new course of action is going to be, my packages are up for 2024, 260s, 230s, all bumped together so we can make sure you're on track for all of 2024. That's also in the description box down below. All right, here we go, Scorpio, into the month. Right at the beginning of the month, on the 4th, we've got Mercury entering into the energy of Libra. So this is going to activate and stimulate the thought process in your 12th house space. Now, this is actually really, really lovely energy because we've also got the sun over here. We've got Mars over here as well. So the 12th house is actually really lit up. Now, one thing to keep in mind about that is that, first of all, it's fantastic for anything that has to do with stuff behind the scenes. Now, this is Libra, so it's creative. There's a lot of energy that's going on. You can see multiple angles. Maybe there's even multiple things going on behind the scenes. One of the things I was thinking up for you, and it may become a little bit more abundant as we get to the new moon solar eclipse that will also be in Libra, but if you are working on a project behind the scenes that requires companionship, right? So think about it from a business perspective. Are you developing a course, but you're also needing to learn where to or how to host your course somewhere? Or are you working on doing a mind, body, mystical healing or having a moment and it requires that you come in contact with another practitioner or something like that? Are you working on recovery and this is requiring that you're with your sponsor, therapist, coach, or whatever that looks like? This is all really, really very good for using your words, making decisions with Mercury here in the 12th house. So absolutely enjoy this all the way until the beginning of October. On the 8th, we see Venus move into the energy of Virgo, bringing a social energy to your 11th house. Now, this is absolutely an interesting dynamic when Venus is in Virgo, because first of all, in your 11th house, this is friends, social grouping, social media, organizations even that you are attached to. When Venus is here, Venus is acting as an attracting energy. Okay. So first of all, it's attracting social things to you. So you might see that your social life is actually getting a little bit busier, or you're getting more messages and things like that, or you're getting invited to things. Okay. Now it's great. with the friends that are the friends, enjoy that. Go spend time with them. Let them love on you. Eat with them. Have a beverage with them if you can do that. Maybe entertain in your own home if that's something that you're open to. Really bring that friendship and that social vibe. Let it come into you. Now, what you don't want to do is to be nitpicky and to be critical. Instead, in your friendship group, if you've got connections here, or in your social group or your social media, if you need to discern which ones you don't actually want there and which ones you do, that's a better use of Venus in Virgo, because it's quite practical, right? The way that I'm spending my energy, what I love, what's getting my attention, the things that I'm interested in, I need to focus them down into things that make sense and have a purpose in my life, not just noise and discernment. So that's a great way all the way until November to enjoy Venus's influence here in the Virgo energy. Now, on the 10th, we're going to see Pluto coming direct at 27 degrees of Capricorn, so in your third house space. Pluto has been working through the third house space since 2008 for you, and at this point, in these last degrees, this 27, 28, 29 degrees of Capricorn, one of the things I can tell you that the direct motion of Pluto here is giving you the opportunity to do is to say, I'm leaving the fight. I'm leaving the power struggle. I am leaving the mental baggage over here. I am leaving the conversational baggage over here. Maybe you feel like you had to take on something, especially since March until now. I've needed to take on something that I didn't necessarily want to take on. And instead of staying in the turmoil of it, you're surrendering and you're leaving the fight. You're coming at it in a much more profound action and interaction with these particular things of the third house, which is communications, contracts, negotiations, buying and selling of property. Was there a hold up in a home, a house buying? Capricorn's an earth energy. It's a contract energy as well. So is there something going on there? In terms of partnership in your life, has there been a mental battle or a mental process in some way that you've been in the fight? And this Pluto retrograde says you can't control them. You can't control that. All you can control is you. So put down the fight. So it's really a very big rearrangement to your mental process. Now, one of the other things I think of is that we've got Venus in Virgo, we've got Pluto in Capricorn, and then we're going to have this last eclipse along with Jupiter and Uranus all happening in Taurus. So this is a really nice grand earth energy, is that this month is a great time for you, especially after the eclipse, to be really looking at your finances. What is going on in your finances? Who do you need to teach you about your finances, or something in relationships where you literally would need to include another source or another teacher to show you how to do that? And this can also help end a bit of that power struggle as well. When we get to the 12th, we're going to see Mercury moving into your sign, so coming home into domicile. And this is a great energy in your sign to, first of all, move you, right? Course correct you, take you out into the world, take you into a different direction, for you to do something where you're performing and your energy is there very well. Now, Mars coming into the first house can also make it so genuinely you're just busy. You're focused on what you are doing and you are moving specifically in that direction, which is a really lovely energy. I mean, it gives absolute credence to the statement, stay in your own lane. You're like, no, listen, I'm really over here just in my own lane, which is a really focused, persistent kind of energy that I think is really, really useful to you. Now, if you did want to go out and apply for a job, if you wanted to get a new look, if you're trying to get in shape, if you are trying to have a deep conversation with someone, and it is this mix between that exceptionally deep, intuitive piece of you and this other sharp, intellectual, analytical, and root oriented. And when I say root oriented, Scorpio, one of the gifts that you have is really getting to the root of things. So what is it that you're developing, talking about, or getting ready to share? Because as Mars moves here, you really have a lot of help, especially with Mercury getting ready to move into the Scorpionic energy as well. Okay, on the 14th, we find ourselves at this new moon solar eclipse happening at 21 degrees of Libra. So, this again is lighting up the 12th house space. So, privacy, things behind the scenes. And I really like this Libra vibration for you because it's really, you can be working on something behind the scenes and getting ready to put it out into the world, whether it's a research paper, it's a product, it's a retreat, it's a you're coming out of your hermit hole for a little bit and you're like, I've had a spiritual rearrangement. I've been working on something. I needed to go in for a time and take care of my immunity. I needed to do a detox and now I'm ready to come out and I'm ready to share my experiences, especially during birthday time for you during this next year. Be ready to share your experiences that came to you from your experience of being in this 12th house space. One of the other things I would encourage you under this new moon solar eclipse to do and to consider is genuinely where you need to rest. Because if you can rest and you can take time to reflect also on what you would like to do next, where you would like to go next, and the connections you need to be able to get you there, you'll have a lot more energy. Rest brings energy. Not resting brings exhaustion, mistakes, and all kinds of ironic situations that come to your front door. Last thing that I want to say about this is one, if you have had anything going on with your health, okay, because I think about that Libra vibration, that's you connected to your body as well. If you've had anything going on with your health, I would really encourage you over this next 6 months to keep an eye on it, to get seen, to get treated, to ask some questions and find out what you can do, because it's just this like little tickle in the back that can turn into something that's a little bit bigger. So make sure that you keep your eye on it. Libra, again, invite people who have training, who have the skill to help you go further with guidance, with help, with mentorship. We go further faster, okay? On the 22nd, we welcome Mercury into the energy of Scorpio, and we also welcome the sun into Scorpio. So happy, happy birthday. Some of these things that you have been stewing, brewing on in the 12th house behind the scenes, whether they be, mental projects, spiritual projects, just resting your beautiful self, whatever it is, now this is the season where they can start to come out. Mercury in Scorpio has this beautiful emotional intelligence. The intuition is phenomenal with this placement. So as you're speaking, it's like you're really speaking from the root of things, or you're speaking to people from the root of where they need to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? You walk into somebody in the grocery store, and instead of saying, hi, how are you doing? You don't even know this person. And you're like, yeah, I just want you to know that you're enough and you're doing a good job. And they're like, wow. And it hits them right where they needed to hear that at that time. You know what I'm talking about. So we'll travel with this energy. Mercury will be here until November 10th. And of course, your season will be on, getting you ready for this birthday time, new haircut, new year, new you, until November 22nd. As we close out the month, Scorpio, on the 28th, we've got the full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Taurus. This is our last eclipse happening in the Taurus axis, which is super cool. Now, the eclipses in the 7th house have been working with you, through you, for you, on you over this last 18 months. So really, truly, the place of partnership, conscious, chosen one-on-one relations, whether that's, professional partners, personal partners, people you've been in collaboration with. Some of you, it might have been legal things. There's roommates that get involved. Anything you've been doing in the area of the public, you and a higher power, right? Like, listen, if you've been relationshiping, okay, there have been opportunities to look at this area of your life under a pretty big microscope. Now, the eclipse, what I want us to keep in mind is that it brings an opportunity over this next 6 months to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment to where there may be an issue. And over this last 18 months, you've had a chance to look at it. And as this last eclipse is coming in the following 6 months, if there has been an issue, I think that you're clearer on what you need to do to correct the issue. Or, if there's been hurt or there's been some healing that's needed, wouldn't it be nice if you just, you hurt a partner, whether it's a professional or a personal one, and you can say, I'm sorry, or man, I really shouldn't have done that, and the slate is clear. Sometimes it's not like that when there is a sore, when there is a bruise, when there is a wound, even if the acknowledgement of it has happened, it takes time for that thing to heal. This is a place where, physically in the material plane, Taurus heals more slowly. So really, if there's been anything painful or tense in your relationships over this next 6 months, this full moon will help bring the ending, the acknowledgement, and the adjustment to what needs to happen to let this really be, whole and full in your life. And I think that you will particularly enjoy this after letting go of some of the mental exhaustion that again has been going on with that Pluto energy, and now being able to relieve some of the heavy energy around these relationships. And this, I will say too, in Taurus vibration includes if you've had heavy energy, even if it was something coming from the past around your finances. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And I think you have access to an absolutely impactful and beautiful month. Scorpio, please let me know in the comment section down below. What is it in particular that you are working on behind the scenes? And what is happening for you in your relationships right now that you're seeing play out in the cosmos as well? All right, my beautiful Scorpios, have a gorgeous month, and I'll see you in November.